This may go down as one of the biggest cover-ups in modern political history. We knew that President Joe Biden was in a mental decline. We've watched it in real time, fall after fall, gaffe after gaffe. But a new report in the Wall Street Journal not only confirms it, it exposes just how far and wide the cover-up actually was, and even continues to be. We've always known that this entire story would come to a head. You see, outside of the legacy media, we've all seen, heard and known what was happening, what the truth was with President Biden. Words were slurred, falls were had. There was that infamous note cards, "You are in the Oval Office, the bathroom is down the hall, you are the president, what day of the week it is," all of that stuff. Biden taking the short stairs of Air Force One after battling the big boy stairs one too many times. But now, the Wall Street Journal has blown the lid off an extensive government cover-up operation to hide the fact that America has not had a functioning president for 4 years. How the White House functioned with a diminished Biden in charge discloses one bombshell revelation after another, as revealed by insiders who finally stepped forward to confirm what conspiracy theorists have been desperately trying to tell the American people for 4 long years. The Wall Street Journal investigation revealed the disturbing inner works of the Biden administration, which painted a picture of a president operating under diminished capacity, while the White House and all the legacy media colluded to provide a smokescreen that hid the dysfunctional president from public view. The WSJ piece contains a number of shocking insights into a president that had gone off the rails and was off the rails from day one. Whilst the first glimpse of President Joe Biden as a barely functional dementia patient came from millions at the first and only presidential debate versus former President Donald Trump, the warning signs were there from the beginning. The shadow government was running the White House behind the scenes, that deep state. Just as Biden's critics had asserted during the president's first 100 days, he skipped press conferences. He vacationed more than any other modern president. It was a foregone conclusion that someone else had to be running the show. This report suggests that key administration officials, such as National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, assumed responsibilities that some believed should have been handled directly by the president. These officials reportedly built a protective wall around Biden, which limited press access and outsider engagement. They hid him, essentially. At public events, aides often repeated instructions to him, such as basic stage directions, which would typically not be necessary for a public figure of his stature, and as Joe Biden suggested many times, he would get in trouble if he went off script. Biden's lethargic and lackluster performances as president extended from the White House to the campaign trail, where it's even more noticeable. Now, First Lady Jill Biden was reportedly advised to downplay her campaign efforts in Iowa to avoid drawing the attention to the fact that President Joe Biden was noticeably not doing that much. This pattern of protecting the president's image extended to his interactions with senior Democratic lawmakers. I'll start that bit again. This pattern of protecting the president's image extended to his interactions with senior Democratic lawmakers, many of whom expressed frustration over their inability to be able to reach him during pivotal moments. For example, the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. Now, concerns over Biden's stamina also emerged as a theme in this report. The president reportedly became fatigued during long meetings. He made mistakes. He couldn't remember what was going on. So imagine that. You're withdrawing from a country after a prolonged war. American soldiers are still on the front line, and the people who are tasked with managing that withdrawal cannot get hold of the president. And then when he does have long meetings, he's barely awake. All of these things that conspiracy theories were saying actually turned out to be happening. On days when his performance was deemed subpar, they actually just cancelled the meetings altogether. So again, where is he? Where's the president? Lawmakers noted a stark contrast between Biden's limited communication as president and the accessibility they experienced during Barack Obama's administration when they were junior representatives. So that's right from the inside there. The report also highlighted strained relationships within that administration. So Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen reportedly maintained a distant connection with the president, while the Defense Secretary, Lloyd Austin's one-on-one meetings with him became increasingly rare in the later years. Despite escalating global tensions. Again, think about that. Ukraine, the threat of China in Taiwan, the ongoing situation that we've got in the Middle East with Israel and Hamas, and the actual person there who's supposed to be having one-on-one meetings with him, the Defence Secretary, it's not happening. When such meetings did occur, often they were done virtually as well. At least one cabinet member stopped requesting direct calls with the president because of an apparent lack of interest in these interactions. And the frequency of Biden's cabinet meetings fell well short of his predecessors. During his first term, he held 10 fewer meetings than Barack Obama, 16 fewer than Donald Trump, raising further questions about his engagement with the governing powers. And before the June debate with President Trump made the obvious truth finally undeniable to everyone, the legacy media insisted again and again that Biden was as alert as ever.
But comparing that guy's mental state, I've said it for years now, he's cogent. But I undersold him when I said he was cogent. He's far beyond cogent. In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been. Intellectually, analytically, because he's been around for 50 years. And, you know, I don't know if people know this or not, Biden used to be a hothead. Sometimes that Irishman would get in front of the reasoning. Sometimes he would say things he didn't want to say. This is, and I don't really, you know what, I don't really care. Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it.
But those outside the propaganda machine, they knew what was going on. The president slurring, his need to be led on and off stages, his falls. They were even the source of laughs in comedy skits around the world. America became a laughingstock because the leader of the free world, the commander-in-chief, actually had very little command of what was going on, possibly even within his own head. They tried everything that they could to prevent these gaffes, but it seems that moments like this one were completely unavoidable.
Now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin.
Or when the president referred to his own vice president as Vice President Trump.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president.
The entire structure around him was designed to prevent moments like that. And no matter what they did, no matter what system they put in place in a desperate bid to avoid all of this, they happened again and again and again. This account from the Wall Street Journal casts a sobering light on the dynamics of the Biden White House, raising broader concerns about leadership and functionality during a period marked by major domestic and international crises. If this was a requiem for a presidency, it's a damn compelling one. The story also raises serious questions about the immoral lengths that the political machine will go to prop up a failed president. And in a way, I think this is what I care most about. Their desire and ability to lie day in, day out, gaslighting people to say, no, what you can see with your own eyes and hear with your own ears is not happening. You're the one who's insane. You're the one who's kooky. Well, it turned out that the opposite was true. One might argue that warning signs that Biden was in mental and physical decline could be seen during his previous election campaign. It was run largely from his basement, rhetorically speaking, yet somehow... Start again. I did a Biden. Yeah. One might argue that the warning signs that Biden was in mental and physical decline could actually be seen during his previous election campaign. It was run, metaphorically speaking, from his basement, yet somehow saw him accrue a record 81 million ballots under murky circumstances. That is also worth noting. I think another one for the conspiracy theorists, isn't it? Where did all of those voters go at this election? Biden, if anything, is not so much guilty of being an ineffectual president as the media and his handlers are trying to exploit him in order to carry out a woke reign of terror against the left's enemies. This Machiavellian crusade ranged from censorship of independent and conservative voices on social media to brazen, now failed lawfare against the incoming President Trump for the dastardly crime of running for president again and seeking to change the Washington status quo. Now, Joe Biden is more aptly seen as the witless puppet of a craven machine, which was run by the amoral Democratic Party, along with its co-conspirators in the establishment media, and they shouldn't be forgiven for that. This explosive piece is not so much a condemnation of an imperfect man as an indictment of an entirely corrupt system.